Welcome everyone to session 8, lesson 7. Let's go, grow, and come on, you can add the last one. What is it? Let's go. Let's grow. Let's glow. There's got to be light. This whole world needs light. This is why we're doing this. We need light first inside of us. More light, to dispel the darkness in every part of the world. We've got to start in my own life. So that's why we're talking today about the law of consistency. One of the big things that we all need, especially me, because motivation gets you going. So you can see the notes up above. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going and growing. This is one of the main things that, when I look at my life, I think, oh, yeah, you're a great initiator. But consistency is kind of lacking. So I'm trying to encourage myself, at the same time, encourage all of you that are in the same boat as me. So we all know that motivation gets us going, but discipline and consistency keeps us going and growing. So, but one of the problems is for us, that everyone that likes excitement, consistency sounds boring. But as we talked about in the law of expansion. Now remember your laws. These are laws that work if we obey them, if we learn how they work. If we learn how they are designed, we can defy gravity, law of aerodynamics, we can fly. So let's fly. Last one we talked about was the law of expansion. Routine, though, only becomes boring when it's measured against a finish line. So remember, we need to appreciate the journey that we're on, all of the time in between, when we're down in the valley of depression and going up to the top of the mountains and the kingdom of love. It's a journey. That's what it's all about. So it's only becomes boring when it's measured against a finish line, when you have to complete and then there's nothing left to do after that. So when we understand that daily habits compound into excellence. Boy, someone should write that down. Daily habits compound into excellence. Then what does it do? It reframes our whole way of thinking. Our manner of thinking is reframed because daily habits keep adding up exponentially. How do they say that? After you just do a few, they start multiplying into, that's where we get excellence. Remember the movie, Be Awesome and Have an Excellent Adventure, when everyone was saying, excellent, excellent, excellent. That's what we're all looking for, something that's excellent. So let's understand it's our daily habits, it's consistency. Lord, help us. Every day. One way to do this, okay? One way. Every day we should do 5 things to stay consistent. Read, think, write, file, and ask questions. So interesting. What's inside comes outside. We practice developing and nurturing, developing and nurturing ourselves by what we read, what we listen to, what we think, writing is one way to get it out from inside of you and put it down, and it makes it, it makes it more concrete, makes it more real. especially when you can read it over and over. Filing certain things that you find that are important. Have a system where you can do that. And David, learn to ask more questions. Be curious. So I'm trying to learn to do that. Okay. Consistency is achieved when we can develop. Okay, how do we get consistency? It's achieved when we can some way, somehow develop. We need to develop. It isn't, again, it's not a presto instant, wave the magic wand and it's all done. No, we need to develop. It's part of the journey. It's part of the steps in between. When we need to develop, we can develop the necessary habits that will point us towards success. And habits are developed best when they are strategic and simple. Another example in the notes up above. So a daily, you could call it a rule of 5. Another way, not only just what we just finished mentioning, stay consistent with reading, thinking, writing, filing, asking questions. Okay, that's 5 things. Here's just another way. A rule of 5 for yourself and your group are essential for growth. God time, gift time, grace time, giving time, gratitude time. It's just simply a way to remember all these 5 G's, what we do. I'll give you just a little bit of detail, okay, that I wrote down about, okay, God time. Spend time with the Creator who loves you and created you. Learn to do 3 things in this God time: trust, listen, and by our good friend John Maxwell, whose material we're using and we love and we are excited about how we can personally grow and develop. He says, trust, listen. Don't always be talking to God, but learn the practice of listening. And then how he says it is, once you listen and you get a word, then run with God. I mean, what it means is put enthusiastic action behind what you hear. Don't just let it slip. Don't just let it go over your heads. Okay, God time, spending time, trust. Just acknowledge, say you trust. Okay, number 2, gift time. This is when if we're going to ever be any good outside to others, that's our goal. We've got to learn to, I call it the 3D message: discover, develop, and deploy. Another way to say it is discover, discipline, and where did my third D? Develop it. Okay, I lost it somewhere here. Things that you're good at, opportunities where you can use your gifts, something that you love to do. So this is like the parable of the talents. Remember that? These are the gifts that God has given us that we've got to utilize properly and multiply. All right, number 3, grace time. Accept it from God and give it to others. Okay, accept it. Don't be shy. When God has given you something or put something in your heart, don't be shy to share it with others. I mean, get over yourself, get over your shyness. It's good to be shy, tell them here in the Philippines in some areas, but it's very important to try to step out in faith and be bold and understand this is the grace that you have received. It's to give to others. that leads us to number 4, giving time. Grow yourself so that you can encourage others. And I am sure that every single one of us would agree that this whole world needs encouragement. So be a giver. Be a giver of, a lot of times I say here, just a smile sometimes can change somebody's life. They might be having the worst day they've ever had, but you give them a smile. You give them a wave. We used to do that as kids driving along the freeway in Oakland, and used to look out of the window of the car and see people passing by. We always used to shout and wave, hello, 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 hello. We were crazy, but maybe it helps somebody. The main point is giving time, encourage, be an encourager in this world. And the last one, gratitude time. Have a heart of thanksgiving. Understand, be thankful that you are valuable. You don't have, it's not that you have value in the things that you do all the time. That could be called utilitarianism. But you have what's called intrinsic value. Intrinsic, inside of you, you are valuable. And so be thankful, be grateful for that, for who you are, because of what you cost, is another way to say it, and because of what you will become, because of what you will become. All right, continuing on with now 4 steps that lead to the habit of persistence and consistency. I guess we need all these steps that we can get, because this is a very, very important part. This is where everything breaks down, where we have a great start and a good vision and a beginning implementation, but then we've got to learn consistency together. Yes, I've got to learn it. Okay, 4 steps. 1, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. Not only of the purpose, but you've got to mix, it's like a mix of emotion and spirit and enthusiasm. It's got to be all of those wrapped together with your definite purpose. So remember that. Number 2, a definite plan. So where are we now? Where do we want to go? And how are we going to get there? A definite plan expressed in continuous action. So action, not contemplation. We need to step out. We need to put it into practice. I mean, this is biblical. This is what Jesus said. Those not only that on the Sermon on the Mount, the last part of it, he said, don't only hear my teaching to you, but those that not only hear, but do my teaching. He said, I will liken them unto the man who built his house upon the rock. So expressed in continuous action, number 2. Number 3, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. Amen. Including negative suggestions of relatives, friends, or acquaintances. Just separate yourself from negative people. You want to find people, and this brings us to number 4, to find people that make a friendly alliance. We should make a friendly alliance with one or more person who will encourage you to follow through with both your plan and your purpose. You know, this is really a prayer, to find someone, to find a couple people like this. So how do you do it? I would imagine you go on a search or make a friendly alliance. This leads into what many times people in scientific language call a mastermind alliance. So find these people. This is why Jesus said, when two or three of you, a friendly alliance, like-minded alliance, come together, great things can happen. So don't forget that, number 4. All right. So we're finished for today. Questions for our journal reflection. In what areas of your life are you most consistent or inconsistent? So we're doing an assessment of what's inside of us and try to say, why are we consistent in something and why are we inconsistent in something else? And put your reflection down below. For those of you, anybody doing this with a group, see the questions there and you can follow the same example. Put your comments and reflections down below. So consistency, the law, it's a law. And if we learn to obey, work with it, understand it, and get some suggestions how we can best apply it in our life, it will lead us to excellent and having an excellent adventure. Thanks for being here today. Bye-bye.